Do you know what South Africa is so rich? How many people are here in South Africa? Almost 100 million people in here in South Africa. Okay, so what is the GDP of South Africa? It's more than billions of rands. I'm saying, if this government, if these people of South Africa come together, this country can afford to give each and every South African 1 million rand a year for the rest of their lives. We are so rich. That's why all these countries want, all these guys from other countries want to come and stay in South Africa, because they know what we don't know.
But there'll be an
What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. I got a serious question, and I'm gonna need somebody from South Africa to answer this one, or any African can answer this one anywhere, actually. What I don't get about the South African protest against immigration, right, which is ran by a xenophobic, white supremacist contractual organization called Dudula or something like that. It's like FBA for America, but in South Africa, a xenophobic hate group designed and created to fight against its own people on behalf of white supremacy, right? But this group is like way more dangerous than FBA, because they take kinetic action. I mean, they go outside and physically do things. Like FBA, for all their ignorance, they don't come outside. You know, they just be on the internet, right? That's it. There's nobody in America outside in real life. I've yet to hear anybody call themselves FBA ever in real life. And in real life, I still yet to find anybody who even heard of FBA, despite it being prevalent on the internet, right? In the real world, they never heard of that. They're like, fulfillment by Amazon. That's literally what it means to most people, right? But over there, like, it's a movement that can be seen on the street, right? And I think it's a result of white people trying to figure out how they're going to maintain power with their micro minority numbers in a country they completely and totally dominated, right? And you got these Africans, these South Africans, who and this is the part that I can't even process it with my brain. They seem to be so proud, and I think it's a specific couple tribes in South Africa that's really pushing this. I know everybody's not involved, right? But the nerve to be wearing your traditional tribal outfit in your protest against other Africans on behalf of white supremacy is at the height of the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen a group of black people do to another black people. Like, they're wearing their traditional African cultural outfits while protesting against other Africans. And then they will also allow that white man to wear that traditional outfit, and they will celebrate that white man participating in all their ceremonies. They don't mind that white man stealing all their resources, allocating all their resources to them. They don't mind that 7% minority. Listen, they're 7% of South Africa. Like 7%. They're not athletic. They can't fight. They don't even, they supposedly, allegedly, they don't even hold political power. Yet somehow, these white people, the worst, between white Americans and white boy South Africans, I don't know which one's worse. I mean, the African Americans, the white Americans are more successful, obviously. But what did apartheid, like, we had Jim Crow, we had, redlining, we had all these things, right? Y'all know about America, but what did Jim Crow do to these people? How is it that Jim Crow didn't make it so these traditional Africans don't have nothing but disdain for anybody white? Like, how is it possible that these so-called proud Africans are not really proud Africans? How are they to the point that they're willing to use deadly force, and they view other Africans that look like them as the enemy, bane of all their problems, and they do not see that white man who is the architect of every bad thing that's ever happened to them in the last 500-600 years, right? And they give them a pass. It's so embarrassing. I mean, it is so embarrassing. Like, as a black person, I get embarrassed to see some proud, supposedly proud-looking South African putting all that proud African heat on other Africans. Like, what would Shaka Zulu say? No, what would Shaka Zulu? What would Shaka say? What would the Zulu, the ancient Zulu tribe, the ones that fought them white people, the ones that got genocided, the ones that got murdered and raped by them white cowards that came with them Gatling guns because they couldn't fight the black man with his shirt off on an even playing field. Even when they had muskets, they couldn't win. They had to go get a Gatling gun and cannons to beat y'all. But now y'all got reduced to clowns. Clowns cosplaying as proud Africans while fighting and killing and hurting and harassing other Africans that were subjugated by the same white man who ass you are kissing. It's the most embarrassing coonery happening on the black world. It's the most embarrassing. It's so shameful. I don't even want to see it. And the thing is, I know South Africa, they have one of the biggest Pan-African organizations in the world. And that's the thing. The EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters. They have Pan-Africans just like, and they just as furious, just as loud, just as boisterous as this hateful xenophobic group. But guess what? The white people own the algorithms. And because they own the algorithms, they push every event these Dudula people throw. They finance and they sponsor these ignorant ass Africans who are completely and totally lost and are an embarrassment to the African world in in totality. They curate these puppets and they blast it on the internet to make it look like all of South Africa is saying F it to the rest of Africa. All of them. Right? And that all of South Africa is just a bunch of xenophobic, hateful Africans who think they better than every other African because they got some infrastructure because the white man stayed there and built the shit there. Even though it was the black man who built the shit there. Right? The black man built all that fucking infrastructure in South Africa. Built with their own bloody black hands. Like that fat, nasty man, pig, sat there with his gun pointed at you, saying you do it or else. It's shameful, man. I guess South Africa, between South Africa and them Arab Noors, man, us Africans, we got a lot of work to do. We got to take back the North, against them Arabs who like to pretend to be black, or them super mixed mulattoes who forgot about that black portion of their DNA that is that has generated all that culture that they cosplaying as Greeks and Arabs and white Europeans who immigrated to North Africa during World War I and II in a great migration that nobody likes to talk about because you poor white people was running away from your European authoritarian countries and shit to Africa, right? That's what all those goddamn Arab, northern Arabs are. That's why the regular Arabs don't view you guys as Arabs, because you guys are really just white Greeks who just mix with black, so you come off same aesthetically looking like an Arab, because Arab ain't nothing but a black, white, Asian mix, same shit, right? No matter where you go, Mexican, Arab, what's the difference? Language, right? But anyway, we're going to take back the North, and we're going to have to slap some sense of these South Africans. We're going to have to help the Pan-African South Africans, who clearly, right, as strong and powerful as their ideologies is and their convictions is and their principles are, they don't seem to have the microphone loud enough to overcome this xenophobic, hateful, white supremacist organization in South Africa. No matter how much they march and go EFF, no matter how much Julius Malema tries to speak sense into these people, man, the white supremacists working double time, triple time, 4 times overtime to keep that little that colony going for the ever shrinking few white people, pigs, nasty boars that still wants to continue to try to carve out a part of Africa for themselves because they don't want to go back to Europe. Anyway, you guys have what you think in the comment section. This Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
These protesters say they all want undocumented foreigners to leave the country. Most are poor or unemployed and say immigrants without valid permits are taking jobs from South Africans. They also blame them for high crime rates and they want the government to tighten border security. Several shops and businesses were closed during protests, and many foreign workers stayed home. There was violence in some areas where foreign nationals from other African countries live. Some of the protesters came down the street, picked up rocks and threw them at that apartment building, breaking several windows. The residents in this complex said that they were scared, and they said the protesters told them that this is not over and they're coming back. The leader of the anti-migrant movement, March and March, says it cannot be held responsible for spontaneous acts of anger by South Africans, and that the group will hold weekly marches until their demands are met.
For the next 6 months,
we are asking for our national resources to be used to take the illegal immigrants out of this country. From building to building, they must go.
Thousands of African foreign nationals had already left South Africa before Tuesday's protests, but many couldn't get out in time and are sheltering in transit camps.
The way they took me away from where I was staying, it was not good, because I was almost beaten by my landlord. He hit me, he called his friends, he hit me.
Anti-migrant attacks have occurred sporadically in South Africa since 2008. There is often no distinction made between foreigners who enter the country legally and those who are undocumented. Local government elections are due to be held by November. Some politicians have been accused of stoking anti-foreigner sentiment to win votes. Harmutasa, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
We are marching for justice. We are tired of the exploitation that is happening, dehumanizing of other people or othering other people because we call them illegal. And our argument is that the right to dignity is for all people. It's not dependent on the border. It's not dependent on how someone sounds or where they are from. It's a human inherent right. What government is not telling people, or what the politicians are not telling people when they try and scapegoat migrants, is that these issues are an issue that is occurring because of their lack of delivering service to the people, right? It's not happening because a few people cross the border. So that's the truth that we are advocating for.
This demonstration is first and foremost a statement that the few xenophobes that are out there harassing migrants, scapegoating them for all the problems that we are not speaking for all of us. So we are saying, in people from workers' movement, from communities, that we see our problems. Our problem is mass unemployment in this country. It's crisis of factory closures, of deindustrialization. Many mines are closed that used to provide tens of thousands of jobs in our community. The idea that all of that, the 12.4 million unemployed people in this country are because of the migrants, is outrageous. We have problems in this country, and what we are saying is that government must stop scapegoating migrants. We are saying that the hate speech, the violence that is being meted on migrants must come to an end, and there must be an action on the part of those in authorities.
They are scared of white people. Look at them. When they speak to a white person, they are very respectful. They show manners. When they speak to a black person, they are violent. But let's ask a question. After you marched and say you don't want Zimbabweans, you don't want Nigerians, you don't want Ghanaians, you close shops, you march. Why are you not coming back to tell us the following day that after that march, we expelled 10 Zimbabweans, and out of those 10 Zimbabweans, were able to give 10 South Africans jobs? There is no such a report. Why? Because now kabakuba ma Zimbabwe, hauna misebetsi, batho bale ba ma Zimbabwe, ba etsa misebetsi e lona le sabatleng o e etsa because those are slaves jobs. They don't pay anything. You want proper jobs. You want a job with a pay slip, with an appointment letter, with pension, with medical aid, and you deserve it. But why are we fighting each other? It is the same people who made us fight each other during apartheid, black on black violence. They sponsored it. The same provinces where blacks were killing blacks during apartheid, sponsored by apartheid government, is the same provinces where blacks are beating blacks today. The script is the same. The right of the script is the same. After removing a black child from school, when the black children were removed from school with bullets in 1976, when our parents were removed from school because they did not have school fees, I must play that role. Me, I will never do it. I'm not going to take a pregnant woman out of a clinic because she's not South African. She gives birth of an African child at the gate, and that child dies. And you want me to do that and be proud and look at my children and say, I'm a proud father after I stopped life, after I killed someone? I will not do that. I did not join politics to be voted for. I was too young when I joined politics. These positions that I have came as a result of my participation. I am not in politics to be elected. I'm in politics to articulate a position of African people who have been oppressed for too long. We are not saying any Zimbabwean, Nigerian, Ghanaian must bring crime here. The same way no South African must bring crime here. Anyone who brings drugs, South African or Nigerian, must be dealt with according to the laws of South Africa. Not mob justice. Let's deal with illegal immigration through the laws of this country. The Minister of Home Affairs is a DA minister, but they never match to the Minister of Home Affairs, who is responsible for illegal immigrants. Why? They are scared of white people. Look at them. When they speak to a white person, they are very respectful. They show manners. When they speak to a black person, they are violent. When is that march going to Cape Town? Because a lot of illegal immigrants, white immigrants, are in Cape Town. Let's see them going to Cape Town and asking whites to produce their IDs. The same way here in Northwest, a lot of whites say they own land. If you ask them to produce a title deed, they don't have. They gave each other the land early 90s when they saw that democracy was coming. So many white people are here in South Africa, illegal labor. They must be treated the same way we treat others. But now they are even worse. They've got our land. How na le fast? Narula economic freedom. O shapa le Zimbabwe le you remain landless. How na le Zimbabwe le fast? Le fast le kamara matso amakhuwa. How na le Zimbabwe le factory, le nang le mine, le nang le bank. You are fighting over useless things. They are distracting you so that you focus on each other while they are stealing our minerals, while they are stealing our land. This is the time you must be more awake. That
Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.